got myself background and a chair. After starting to think that maybe we can start to trust ourselves, there is the only way to prove that we can trust ourselves, and this is by experimenting. I personally really like experimenting because it is natural for me to question tradition. I think there is some astrological placement or something to do with that. But you know, when somebody says like, okay, this is how you do this, and then you think, well, that doesn't really sound right to me, then you think that actually, okay, maybe that was the way to do things, but maybe there is another way, better way to do things. And you know, like sometimes if somebody kind of gives you advice about something or tips about how to do things, it could be that their way or their method is actually good, but sometimes a method that fits and works well for one person doesn't necessarily work so well for us, because we all are different people with the different personalities, with the different experiences, with the different characters. We have different fears, you know, like complete unique character. So there might be something in our personality that might prevent the effectiveness of the method that has been suggested to us. For example, go and get things, you know, go and get things, go for it, initiate, go. It might work for one type of person and who's naturally has a capacity or has some drive for initiative or lots of initiative and really experience enjoyment out of it. But for another person to do that might actually not work so well. I'm the example. For example, my genuine need is missing experience is that things are given to me, people that help me, circumstances where I don't need to struggle my way through, circumstances and things where I don't have to fight and you know, go on to war for every single thing that I need and I want. Missing experience would be to have circumstances and people who support me. So if I'm being told that, you know what, you need to go and do everything yourself, you need to go and get everything yourself, that kind of makes me feel worse, and it kind of deepens my wounding, which is I'm on my own, anything that I want I need to get myself. I cannot really trust anybody because nobody would really want to give anything to me. So for me, I need the opposite experience of that. So that's why, you know, some tried and tested methods that work very well for one person might not work so well for another person. That's why experimenting is very important. I think when you try to find your way on doing things and how to do things. So I actually made some bullet points. So sometimes things don't feel right to us. Things don't feel right to us, and because things don't feel right to us, but we are told that this is how things are, we have accepted that this is how things are and that's how things are supposed to be. And if I'm not okay with that, that means there is something wrong with me. So when you experiment, you actually challenge that. So things are that way, or people say, okay, things are that way. I'm going to give you example, like classical example that probably everybody can relate to is like, you have to have 9-to-5 job, or you have to have some stable job, or you have to go to job 5 days per week, 2 days rest, and then you can do other things. But most of your life you're gonna have to go 9-to-5, and it doesn't feel right to you. I mean, you can see other people doing it, maybe your parents are doing it, your neighbors doing it, your friends are doing it, but it just doesn't feel right to you. And then when you dig a little bit further and you start to experiment and challenge the idea, you start discovering that, okay, there are some new companies, modern companies, that start paying not per hour and not by your time staying at a company, but by the job that is being completed. And some other modern companies, they're adopting shorter working week, flexible working times, part-time work. And then there is also this kind of thing and belief where you think, okay, you have to have maybe one job. So let's say you have one job which is stable, and but you don't really feel so fulfilled by it. So are you really trapped in it? Do you actually have to go with it for the sake of security? Or maybe there is something else that you could do. So maybe you can do two jobs. Maybe you could do one job which is stable and do it, I don't know, 2 or 3 days per week. Whatever is the time that will give sense of security to the part of you who feels that it needs this security. And another portion of time you could do something else. So, okay, if you stay working 40 hours per week, maybe you don't have to suddenly drop it by half. Maybe you can go to 30 hours per week. And then maybe that would work better for you. Because, of course, if the money is the value, your value and your goal and the thing that you want to have, then, of course, by missing out by some amount, you'll probably feel that you are downgrading. But if you feel, say, suffocated, or you feel like, okay, I like my job, kind of, but I want to do other things which I really love, and I don't really have enough time to do that. Let's say I have a hobby, making jewelry, and because I work every day, on the weekend, I don't really have much time to do that. So if I reduce some hours that I work, maybe I could use the portion of that free time for something else. And yes, okay, I will get less money, but I may find that this balance works much better for me, because I feel much more well and much more fulfilled, and I feel happier, I feel more rested, and I feel like I'm spending more time really enjoying life. And then, you know, like with the hobbies and the things that we love, you never know, it can really turn into business and the career. Let's say in a career and occupation and vacation area, especially now, there are many people who are trying to get out of the system. By system, we mean kind of some kind of standard way of doing things. So let's say in this example of a job, from the system of job, and finding, you know, like different kind of combinations. But what I'm saying is, like, if you think that you can't do it, maybe the way that other people can, you don't have to do it the way other people are doing it. Maybe there is a way which nobody is doing yet, but you are going to find. And if you think like, oh, well, yeah, I'm not that creative, I can't do it, I think you might be underestimating yourself. Because I do believe this thing, you know, like, where is a will, there is a way. What happens often, sometimes, okay, we don't have immediate answer, but we know that there is something that we are looking for. And as we continuously focus and concentrate and kind of pay attention, like, okay, for example, I'm going to give you an example. Okay, so I'm working in this big job, which is okay, but I really want more time to do other things that I love. And then you kind of keep on thinking to change your jobs, to earn lots of money, to save lots of money, and then leave the job. But none of those options really seem to be kind of like feeling good to you. None of them feels like in alignment with the way you are and the way you feel good, in a way that makes you feel excited, or that yes, it could work for you. Maybe there is something else. As long as you keep this openness that, okay, so far from all the examples that I've seen, I cannot find combination or the option that would work for me. If you continue to keep this kind of openness and wanting to receive answer, solution, invention, at some point you will, because brain, mind, we can go metaphysical, we can go physical, we can go psychological here. It has the power of wanting to resolve things. So if we have a problem, so we give a task to brain, something that we want to resolve, even if it didn't resolve straight away, it will search, it will keep on search and search and search and search and search until it will find. Sometimes, of course, it goes a little bit in a loop because of our beliefs. If you find yourself looping constantly, okay, I want this, but I can't because of that. Okay, I want this, but I can't do this because of that. Yes, I want this, but I can't because of that. I could repeat that many times. Probably it means there is some kind of like, you know, like a stumbling block. So kind of like stumbling block. You wanna go here. You wanna go here. I don't know if that's a good way of demonstrating. You wanna go here, and then you can't. And you wanna go here, and then you can't. You wanna go here, and then you can't. And that means in here, this is your brain, by the way. This model is the way your brain works. That means there is something that is in the way. So basically, at some point, when you realize that you're doing this, you need to kind of like, okay, so I've been trying to do it or think like that many times, but nothing happened, or I keep on coming to the same problem and idea. Then you need to kind of go, dig, and find. So what is this thing exactly, the thing that is preventing me from going where I wanna go or finding solution? So yeah, so that's one. Then there is this another problem. The problem is that we sometimes, again, I could say problem is other people, but you know, like we are also other people. So problem is other people and us, combination of our dynamic with other people. So we are problem as well. For example, you can do things either this way or that way. There is no other option. So you need to choose either this way or that way, and there is nothing else you can choose. And you know that if you do this, you can't do this, and then if you do this, you can't do this. This should be in bracket because from the inside sometimes we hear this voice or this thought that, well, it's not possible, it's either this or this. This voice inside usually is our parents, our grandparents, our neighbors, our teachers, somebody that influenced us when we were little. We form our beliefs during our childhood. So basically, depending on who were the most influential and significant people in our childhood, depending on what beliefs they had, depending on what things they were repeating, that's what we're going to believe. So when we get to this, either this or that, you cannot have both, you can actually question that as well. Is it really either this or that? Can I have both? Or can I have some of this and some of this? Or maybe this thing, whole thing I don't really want. Or maybe this whole thing I don't want, I want only part of it. So yeah, I mean, and it also again depends on you, on your personality. It depends how open you are and how open you want to be. It depends on how much you want things that you think you want and what are you ready to negotiate. I think openness, well, experimenting, challenging ideas that we think are set in stone, and experimenting with things is essential way to find your way of doing things. If we kind of only look at the things that are available, we don't really see all things that are available for us. But when we start searching for the options that we need for our particular case, we actually start to find that we have more options available for us than we thought we do. And if the option that you are searching is not available, then maybe you could be the one who will create that. And once you create that, you could be the one who will be opening doors to other people who also were looking for this option and couldn't find this option, but now they can because of you. Experimenting, exploring, challenging things that don't work is a good thing. It's expanding thing. It's innovating thing. And most importantly, by doing that, you can find your way of doing things. So you don't have to only choose what other people tell you is available for you. I once listened to this podcast audio recording, and I think it may have been by Earl Nightingale. It was about learning. It was about why children are so active and excited, and they seem to be, like running all the time and happy all the time. And then the minute you become grown up, or once you become grown up, you get your job and everything, you become this sluggish, demotivated, disappointed person, a miserable person, really. And one of the elements, enthusiasm. And like enthusiasm is fed by things like learning new things. And experimenting is actually learning how to do something. Experimenting is doing something which may not work from the first time, from the second time, from the third time, many times. Okay, we can talk about famous Edison and his light bulb, but he's not the only person who's been experimenting for many times until he succeeded. Many people who have succeeded, they were experimenting many times. Okay, I'm gonna give you another modern example. Okay, let's take Justin Bieber. I'm not really a fan of his or anything, but I must admit, when he just started, I was like, I didn't really think that he will be succeeding to the degree that he did. But you know what? He did. He's been experimenting and he's been doing things, and he kept on believing in himself. And like now, even I'm like, you know what? I have respect to that guy because he never gave up on himself. So experiment, try to find ways that work for you. If you try something and it doesn't work, try something else. Modify, chop and change, adjust, add something, take away something, collaborate with something, kick somebody out. Do it on your own if collaboration doesn't work. Find different people. Ask for advice, but don't just take all advice. Test run it. See if it works for you. So I wanted to encourage you not to give up on yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe even if you don't know how. Somehow, some way, someday, you will find a way that works for you. Don't give up on yourself. Believe that even if you don't know, something or somebody or circumstances or somebody else will know. And then you will find something that works best for you. I was actually using this book to keep the flower in, and it's actually really cool because it has this, it's kind of like a bite on the corner. Have a nice week or day or month or year, and thank you for watching.